Hey yo, what's up everybody? The Wuthering Waves 2.x series has brought with it a slew of changes over the patches in all fronts, all the way back from 2.0 till now, everything from world design, exploration, writing, and a whole lot more. And one of the many things that I've been enjoying in these 2.x patches is not just how weekly bosses have story relevance, but also how even the overworld bosses also have their own spotlight in the story. And with 2.2, we get even more info about the Dragon of Dirge. Today, we're going to get into talking about this creature, a tiny bit of real-world history, and what makes his story so tragic. By the way, if you like these kinds of videos, be sure to like and share. It really does help me continue to keep bringing you awesome videos just like this one. Without further ado, let's get it. The Dragon of Dirge. Its description reads, a dragon-like remnant creature that haunts the peak of Penitent's End for some unknown reason, devouring all frequencies indiscriminately. But if you watch my refresher video on patch 2.0, hey, y'all already know the reason. But for those who didn't, give that video a watch. But anyway, I'll tell you the short and sweet. Basically, the Order, combined with the efforts of the Fraxidus, intentionally altered the dragon to be in a perpetually hungry and starved state, where it never really becomes full and requires more and more frequencies just to continue existing, to the point where it will even devour the living just to get their frequencies. We first meet this creature not on Penitent's End, but on the bridge leading to the area, just north of the tower ruins. And at certain times of the day, the dragon just frequents the area, even outside of quests, likely due to its insatiable hunger for frequencies continuing to expand. When we finally get to Penitent's End, we learn the truth of the area, which is the dragon is also a part of the punishment for those on the Pilgrim's Sail. It's just one extra measure set up so that those sent away will never return. If they don't perish in a shipwreck or are killed by tacit discords, the Dragon of Dirge is there to finish the job. And because he never gets full, he's always ready. Saying those on the Pilgrim's Sail have it rough is an understatement. Just imagine, for some arbitrary infraction, maybe catching a sacred fish by accident, you're then deemed a fool, exiled from your people by the nation's one authoritative group, which is also at the same time the only religion and truth you've ever known. Being taught from a young age that this, the Pilgrim's Sail, is the true story of the founding of Rinascita. And with all of this psychological stress and trauma at play, it's not surprising that some people just break, believing that it's their deserved divine punishment and offer themselves up willingly to be devoured by the dragon. And we see this at play right in front of us during Chapter 2, Act 3 of the story. And of course, we save the fool and fight the Dragon of Dirge. By the way, the Dragon of Dirge isn't even what it was originally called. It has a name, and the name is Gehenna. Gehenna is the Dragon of Dirge's original name, and I think it is very fitting for what it has become by the time we encounter it in the story. The name Gehenna and its meaning go way, way back, like pre-biblical times. Gehenna was a place. Some historians dispute its exact location, but many speculate that the Valley of Gehenna was southwest of Jerusalem. It was a place that had become known for its sacrifices to the Amalite god, Malak. They burned innocent children as their sacrifice, and thus Gehenna became known as a place of divine punishment, where the wicked must come to atone for their sins. The place became so infamous for this practice that it would later be referenced in many verses of Abrahamic religions, primarily Judaism and Christianity. The place of divine punishment, where the innocent are sacrificed. Gehenna, Penitent's End. In this update, we discovered so much about Gehenna and just the story of Rinascita. Gehenna wasn't always this soul-sucking skeletal dragon that we see at Penitent's End. We find out through the 2.2 main story that there was once a time where Carthathea used to ride on its back. We learn that the history of dragons, or rather dragon-tacit discords, in Rinascita date way back, long before human settlers arrived to colonize the region. And these dragons were very intelligent and they had their own social order. Over time, the Order of the Deep began to tame them into echoes for their own purposes. Gehenna was the Dragon King. He was the only one believed to be able to lift the siege of the Dark Tide, and also the sole survivor of the dragons to escape the chaos of the Dark Tide. But he obviously wouldn't continue to live on unscathed. As we discussed earlier, in Act 3 of Chapter 2, we learn about what the Order did to him. For gameplay purposes, the Dragon of Dirge is ever present on Penitent's End, but canonically, he dies by our hand. And thus concludes the tragic tale of Gehenna, the Dragon of Dirge. From regal kingship, respected by his dragon subjects, and later by the Order, to one who scrounges for scraps of frequencies, exiled to a desolate, god-forsaken isle.
Gehenna, a wretched soul mourned by none.
Well, there is one.
Gehenna, the one you mentioned earlier. What happened to him?
Whenever you have an idle moment, be sure that you also pay your respects to the king. For no king should have to live like this.
In the mist of time.
I thought it was really interesting to get more information about this boss, this patch. I think doing stuff like this, it really adds to the connectedness of the world of Solaris 3, and these kind of things really do help make simple things feel so much more meaningful. So tell me, what kinds of lore and backstory do you hope they add in the future? For me, I'm thinking hopefully we get even more backstory to Lorelei. I love this monster design, and I think it would be really cool just to see more of her and to hear more about her. Also, the Oakheart region. I think that would be really cool too. Anyways, that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'll catch you in the waves. Peace.